All right, we're back at it again this week. Second episode in a last couple of days. It is the good, myself, the Reverend, and the bad in a way, but not really here. But definitely the cornucopia of knowledge, the man who can find any bit of information we need at a drop of a hat. The Encyclopedia himself is joining us one more time. And have you recovered from our lightning round of Family Feud?
I'm still very disappointed in myself. I usually, at least when I play it on the Switch or the Wii, I usually do better than that. Or when I'm watching on TV, that was a tough one. Usually the Celebrity Family Feud, they try to encourage them to win the money because it's going to charity. Those were tough questions they gave them.
I feel like they go harder on wrestlers in general during these shows. They did it on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire too back in the day.
And the
I think
weakest
there's a
link.
bias. I
Yeah.
think on the weakest link. Yes, there was a bias. The anti-wrestler bias, and I think they were all mad that Kane won that one time, and that set a bad precedent for everyone. So now they hit
On
him
the
with harder
weakest link.
questions. Yep,
Yeah, the
I think
last
he
one.
won the first one.
Yeah, the last one. At one point it was Becky Lynch and the New Day, and Becky Lynch was destroying them, but they, the Kofi and Big E and Xavier basically, they were all in cahoots, so they voted her off, and she was even like, "Really? Like I get it, but really, like I'm destroying them."
That's right. You can't tear them apart. You cannot tear the New Day apart. That's what the lesson is from that.
Yeah,
No
but
one can.
time to move on, and we got to
That's
get. It's
right.
time to get all in on
That's
AEW.
right. Hey, Encyclopedia, are you all in?
Not legally.
That's a good answer.
I I thought, do I want to spend the money? I don't know. I don't feel like sitting in a movie theater paying $25-$30 out of my own pocket, although that would be cheaper than my initial plan was actually to split it with somebody, but unfortunately he's not available. So I could go to Dave and Buster's. I found one about 45 minutes to an hour away from me that's showing it, but I don't know how much attention I'll be able to pay in a Dave and Buster's airing it, especially because it's 1 o'clock in the
Yeah,
afternoon Eastern. So it's
yeah,
going to
it's
be
gonna
in
be.
the afternoon.
I can't be around day drunk folks trying to watch a pay-per-view.
I was going to say it's going to be the after church crowd at Dave and Buster's because it's Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. That being
And if you
said,
don't know what we're talking about, folks, Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, AEW presents All In from Wembley one more time before they head back to Texas. So
mm,
we're gonna give you our picks for the
yep.
show. The Devil's Advocate could not join us tonight, but he has mailed in his picks, so we will be revealing those as we go along.
Mailed in. He's from hell, bro.
Phoned it in.
I, I don't know if we can't say
Carrier
mailed.
demon. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I don't
Trust
know
me, if
either.
there's a hell, there's a post office.
If there's a hell, that's where he's from.
Well, fair.
But yes, yeah, the the Devil's Advocate left us his picks as well as his commentary. So he stole a page
Yes.
from my book from back in the day when you guys all were saying how I'd leave paragraphs, and then I started cutting back. I feel like in the time it took him to write this, he could have just been on the damn show.
Probably.
But
Probably. But he's got a save face. Devil face. He's got to save.
yeah,
Yes. So let's get right into it. Let's jump into this show
all
because there are about 45 matches.
right. Which is
And
probably why it's starting at 6 p.m. in the UK.
yeah,
I
right.
don't think that. I know they're normally 4 hours. I think this is going to go 4.5. Easy.
All right. So let's kick it off with mixed tag team match action, which
And,
I'm
and this is on the 0 hour. Just want
on
to clear
0
that up.
hour. I was pretty sure it would be.
Yep.
But hey, either way, anything that gets Stokely on TV more, I'm happy with. Chris Statlander teams up with Stokely Hathaway again to take on Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii. Wow, that is a crossover I did not expect to see. The winning
Right.
team will choose the stipulation of the match between Nightingale and Statlander at All Out. So, Encyclopedia, who do you have for this one?
Well, before I give my pick, we'll give you the Devil's Advocate,
Ah,
who
yes.
picked Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii and left the comment, and I quote, "This feud has gone on way too long. No one cares." I'm not going to totally disagree with. And when this match was announced, I was like, wait, so Stokely's in one half, which I could be on board with that, but Tomohiro Ishii, in theory, that's like one of the biggest mismatches of all time. That was like when they were teasing Yokozuna versus Jim Cornette.
Yeah, I don't get it. And so it
I don't.
should be Slaughter.
You would think.
I think. I don't know. Who do you have?
I'm going to agree with the Devil's Advocate, who picked Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with that too. I just don't see any scenario where Stokely Hathaway doesn't get his ass kicked
Yeah.
to the delight of the crowd. Yeah, it's got to be that way. Normally,
Yeah.
you know what's funny about that? Normally, I would choose Statlander and Hathaway because it's more interesting if the heel is the one making that decision. But
Right.
I think it's gonna be Willow and then Tomohiro Ishii. All right. And as we enter those, moving on to a three-way tag team match for the AEW Tag Team Championship. The reigning champions, the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, our wondrous EVPs, will defend against FTR, that's Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, and the acclaimed Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. And looking at this, the Devil's Advocate has, I'm going to read this verbatim. He has selected the Bung Yucks.
So you may recall for Money in the Bank, I said Sami Zayn was going to win by counter to DQ, and he wanted to hold me to it. Can I make the argument that he didn't make a pick of somebody in this match?
You could argue he did not choose the correct team, and it would be the most technical of technicalities. But I believe, as a wise man once said, you are technically correct, the best kind of correct. Um, I
I agree with him with the proper name.
you agree with the intent?
I agree with the intent. His wittiness notwithstanding, I agree with his choice.
Yeah,
I like
don't see
FTR
them
and the
dropping
Acclaimed
it.
much more, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, I'm actually way more behind the Acclaimed, and I still don't see. I don't see the Jackson 2 dropping those titles anytime soon, and I don't know why. As
Because
it
they're
is, they
EVPs and they're playing
yeah,
into it.
yeah.
I, I I'll be honest. I would have either this should have been the ladder match on the card,
Mm,
or Acclaimed. You could start a feud with them with anybody.
I know.
It didn't have to be. If you wanted to do Young Bucks versus the Acclaimed, that's fine. The fact that you got FTR in there, look, they've had a great series. What have we not seen them have yet? A steel cage match.
Mm,
Young Bucks, FTR, steel cage. I think I would have rather have seen that here. The three-way, a lot of this card just feels like excuses to get people on the card. And AEW usually didn't go there. That was a Vince McMahon WrestleMania thing.
yeah, and I get the idea. You want to do something special for your overseas show. You go there once a year and all that stuff, but I think, especially because it's all in.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be special.
Yeah.
And I'm of that mind. Everybody can't be on the card if it's supposed to be special. If everybody's there, it's no longer special.
Right.
I mean, on the card. They do shows
Mm-hmm.
around town leading up to it. Cool. Everybody's going to get to go on the road trip. Everybody's going to do the tour. That's fine. But everybody can't be on that final card.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, here we are.
Yep.
Everybody is on this card. And I don't know which show half of these people are on. If they're in AEW or Ring of Honor.
I thought most of them were actually AEW. I think there was only one or two from Ring of Honor, I would have thought. But anyway, it's besides the point.
That's fair. Speaking of folks who are in Ring of Honor, I think we got a couple in the next match, which is our 4-way ladder match for the AEW Trios Championship.
This doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't, and it does. I get why there's a 4-way match.
I don't.
So, okay, the Patriarchy was Christian Cage and Killswitch and Nick Wayne.
Right.
To be fair, our defending champions have been playing keep away with all of these guys, except for one team.
The wild card.
We'll get to that. Yes,
Yeah.
and I just don't understand why they're a team. I might have missed an episode here or there, so it could be on me.
It was probably on Collision. Nobody watches Collision.
Yeah. The feud going with the Bang Bang Gang, which is Juice Robinson, Austin, and Colton Gunn. Okay, I see that. I've been understanding that and how they're playing keep away with them, and I understand it with the House of Black. Malachi Black and Brody King and Buddy Matthews. I get it. Why they're trying to keep them from getting a legit shot again. I understand.
I think Patriarchy versus Bang Bang Gang, that should have been it. They beat Bang Bang Gang for the belts. End of story. Rematch.
I get that.
I don't know if I'm Malachi Black.
I like people chasing.
I don't know. If I'm Malachi Black, is this really what I came to AEW for? To be in the trios division? AEW was going to give me more opportunity? Really?
I don't know.
And then the last team, this wild card of Pac, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta. So you got two people from the Blackpool Combat Club. Two. Where's Moxley? Something's going on with Moxley. I saw that there was some story going around there. I didn't read it. I'll be transparent about that. Pac being in this match was just an excuse to get someone from Britain on the involved in this one.
Was it originally going to be Death Triangle?
That was rumored, because the rumor is Lucha Brothers are probably going to WWE, and we talked about our opinions on that on a recent episode. You could go back and look for it. Yeah, I think we spent more time on this match than we needed to. But Rob's comment was he's not sure why they added the Pac team.
Fair.
That's something I noticed a lot. Rob doesn't understand a lot of things. He doesn't get it. He says it over and over again. Doesn't even try. I don't get why he had to fill the sheet with his stupid comments. I admitted the other night I said I don't really rip on him. I'm going to do it now because this is exactly what he would do for me in this case.
Oh, boy.
But he's got a point. Not sure why they added the Pac team. Pac's from Britain. That's why he's in this match. And I think you're right. Lucha Brothers would have been in this spot. So something's definitely going on there. Would have rather had an Okada-Claudio match with stipulation. I agree with, because I thought it was odd they were doing that on Dynamite. I then thought, and at the time, as I was watching Dynamite, Collision was taped right after that. I hadn't read the spoilers. I did think maybe they were going to do Okada Claudio too. The other thing is Claudio's going to be jet lagged as fuck, because they said on Dynamite, isn't he? He's in Mexico City. We're taping this a day late tonight. We're taping it on Friday, August 23rd. So he's in Mexico City tonight, and then he's flying all the way back to England for All In. Yeah. Jesus Christ, give that. I hope they're paying the guy. Jesus, that's insane.
Tony, take care of your talent there. Let him get a rest day.
He's going to be drinking a lot of his Claudio coffee.
Yeah, I guess so.
No. Rob put Cage and Crew. I'm going to put the real name to Patriarchy, but I do agree there.
I'm going to go. I'm gonna go against any actual wisdom here. I'm just gonna go with the team I love.
Okay.
I'm picking House of Black.
Okay.
Just want to see one of them get a win on
We'll,
a
we'll,
big
call,
stage.
we'll call him Hob.
Hob.
Just to be clever like Rob. Clever like Rob,
There
we'll
you
call him
go.
Hob.
There you go.
I'm
Hear that,
also,
Rob? We called them
I'm
Hob.
also a poet.
Yes. All right, coming up next.
I'd say he'd be rolling his lies as he plays this back, but he's not going to. So I'm keeping it PG in case he does want to play it on. He's going away for a few days, starting tomorrow as well. So in addition to being a little under the weather, he's also got to be in the car for several hours. I don't think he's going to play this with his wife and daughter in the car. However, in case he does, I'm going to keep it PG.
That's right.
For now.
You never know. Traffic might get a little congested, and then this is what'll play. And yeah, we don't want the kid to hear any foul language. So you hear that we're doing this for the children. Much like Wu-Tang, we're for the children.
I'd like to say I've kept it PG in front of her, but I haven't. So
I think you have uncle status though. As
no,
usually
I do.
you can get away
I
with
do,
it.
but I don't think out of every time I do it, I'm just like, and Janine, his wife, is always like, "You think she hasn't heard that before?" And I'm like, I know. But anyway,
Well, speaking of things not for
luckily
the kids,
she hasn't put me in a coffin for my foul language, which coincidentally we're gonna go pick up for the coffin match for the AEW TNT Championship. We have the scapegoat Jack Perry, Jungle Jack. Oh, scapegoat Jack Perry. I'm digging this against Darby Allin.
I like that gimmick.
Before we make our picks,
yes, sir.
I don't understand Darby Allin being in this match and it being a coffin match on top of it. But be that as it may, a TNT Championship match when 1 month from now, at Grand Slam, at Arthur Ashe Stadium, he's challenging for the AEW World Championship. I don't get that.
That is a fair argument.
Yeah, and later on and also on this card, we're having a Casino Gauntlet match for an AEW World Championship match. Can we get through the challenges you already have established first?
You're asking a lot.
I know.
You're asking for a lot there.
Yeah,
a lot of reason.
Look,
I don't think that reason exists.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like for them to be back at a point where maybe not, admittedly, I don't want them to have the highest attended wrestling show of all time, but I'd like them to have more than what the amount of empty sections they're going to have at Wembley. Last check, they've sold 50,000 seats. Last year there was 80,000 plus. But be that as it may, and we know, as you said, All In next year is in July in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But it has leaked out the Forbidden Door next year is going to be in London. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be at Wembley though. I think
that's a good question.
My guess is it's going to be at the O2. But anyway, which is actually on the Thames, but it's really the Wembley, I believe, is in North London. I almost want to say Northwestern. I have to look on the map, but I know it's on the northern part where the O2 is kind of East London. On the Thames, nice spot, but it's kind of it's one of those areas of London, at least as a tourist. When I've been there, it's not where the tourists necessarily go. But anyway, be that as it may. Going back to the match, Rob picked Jack Perry. I'm leaning that way. The thing that's throwing me off is the fact that Darby Allin is getting the winner of Swerve Strickland and Bryan Danielson.
Yeah,
that's the only reason why I'm not sure. But I mean, it's a coffin match. You could have shenanigans for Perry to win. So I'm gonna assume there's gonna be shenanigans involved, and Perry's gonna retain. But it just seems weird that you put Darby in this match, knowing that he's the number one contender after All In.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And another thing that makes me think Jack Perry, Excalibur mentioned that Darby Allin's never lost a coffin match. He blurted that out on Dynamite. Didn't make a big deal out of it. It was very subtle, but I was like, yeah. If you're mentioning that, there's probably a good chance that's going to end.
Yeah. And you know what? It's good for Jack Perry.
Yeah.
You know, they're making something out of this rebrand of his.
True.
I'm all for that. And yeah, I guess Darby Allin, he can lose. It doesn't matter. Clearly, it doesn't matter. He can lose. He'll still go on and fight for the world championship. So
True.
there you go. Yeah, I guess that's Perry all across the board then.
Okay.
Right. I do want to mention something though. I feel like the TNT championship should be defended on TNT. You know, like how WCW had the TV championship
But
back
it
in
was
the
a
day.
TV championship.
Right. Yeah. But
I get what you,
do they even have TNT in England?
No. No, I think they said over there it airs on Fight, or it might be on ITV. Actually, because I know Tony Khan said that Dynamite couldn't air live in England because Warner Brothers Discovery should air it first. It's their main partner. And he mentioned he wished he could air it live every week on ITV, but it would be at 1 a.m. I'm trying to remember. I think it was on ITV. I remember it was WWE over there is more accessible on like their higher paid TV subscription services, I guess you could say. Where Dynamite was on Freeview. So when for a long time they were bragging about being the #1 wrestling program in the UK, I thought, yeah, that's because you're on regular cable TV. It's
Right.
it's not what a lot of people get. I don't think WWE was necessarily on Sky. It might have been PT Sport. I don't know. It was one of those. But yeah, when I've gone over there, I rarely find WWE. If I do, it's on like their Channel 4, and it's like after the fact. I think they're about 5 days behind, if I remember correctly. But anyway, rant over. Who's your pick?
For the TNT championship, I got Jack Perry.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. This could end up being one of the last matches or the last match on the card. We have it's the AEW International Championship. Somebody wrote American Championship. It was probably me. I don't know why I did, but it's MJF defending.
That's what he's calling it.
Yeah, it's MJF defending the American Championship against Will Ospreay.
Yes.
Rob did say.
Oh, I'll read this one.
Okay, go for it.
I like this.
Go ahead.
With full authority, with full bass in his voice, he wrote this. By the way,
I don't see any caps there.
No, the bass is implied.
All right.
I don't think AEW has the balls to have Will lose 2 in a row to MJF. That's what he said. Tony Khan, Rob Fane said you don't have the balls to have Will Ospreay lose 2 in a row to MJF. What are you going to do about that, huh? Also, I shout out to my neighbors upstairs who just out of nowhere heard somebody exclaim balls at the top of their voice for no good reason. So I'm sure they're happy with me right now.
I didn't think you said anything that bad, but okay.
No, it's just a weird thing to hear, I think, at night.
Balls?
It's a word you don't expect to hear exclaimed out of nowhere.
Yeah, but it's a Friday night. You could be hearing balls smacking again. All right, never mind.
I mean, they're my upstairs neighbors. The sound would have to carry an
look.
I don't
know who lives above you. Hey, look, when my first apartment, my second apartment. After I got married, the girl upstairs made no bones about when the boyfriend was over.
Oh.
To the point that in the dead of winter, you had to open the windows because the landlord would have it was the old school coil radiators. She'd have that shit hissing, so you had to have the windows open.
Oh yeah. I know those.
You could hear the girl screaming.
Wow.
Yeah. And Yeah, and and I was just like, wow. I don't. At least I know I'd never be that loud, or my wife for that matter. It was just like, holy crap! Like no filter.
I mean, that's sometimes you gotta let the people know that you're having a good night or a good
Yeah,
day.
she was something else.
Oh boy. Well, with that in
I don't mind.
mind, who do you have for this American Championship match?
I don't think it's a balls thing. I think this was totally done to get Osprey a big moment in front of his home country.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree it's going to be Osprey.
Yep.
And especially when MJF once again had a hint at doing something dastardly onto another level. I mean, when he whispered in
He
his ear
did.
about what he was going to do to Osprey's wife, I was like, wait, do we really need to go there every single time? But that's his
Yes,
character. I
he
get it.
does. Yes, he
But
does. He's
but consider
scum.
but considering the dirt sheets insinuating that his girlfriend caused a problem with him and Britt Baker, I was just like, really?
Mhm.
You're going to talk about screwing another man's wife with your
That's
girlfriend
exactly
working
what
for
he's
the
gonna
company
do.
on the other side of the curtain? Come on, bro.
That's exactly what he's gonna do because he's a scumbag.
All right, all right, all right. You just love me
That's what
saying
he
that.
does. That's how he rolls. Oh, I will. I do that. I'll tell you this. I see Will Osprey winning. I'm gonna miss the giant MJF American flag. I think that
True.
was that was
That was
a
brilliant.
genius little bit of prop building right there.
All right.
All right.
All
Will's across the board. All right, we're halfway through, folks.
right.
Halfway through. Next up is the Casino Gauntlet match for a future AEW World Championship match. And it's Orange Cassidy, Hangman Adam Page, Evil Uno, Ring of Honor champion Mark Briscoe, Roderick Strong, and I guess still TBD.
We don't
We'll
know most
find
of the.
out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll find out Friday. I guess we'll find out, or maybe we already found out, or we'll find out Saturday. I'm imagining.
No, no,
Um,
no, we're not
no.
on Collision. Well, maybe, but I don't think we're gonna get everybody. I don't think
Oh, we'll
that's their
find out
style.
on the spot. Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I think
Hey,
so.
you got any guesses as who TBD will be?
No, I wrote that there because I don't know. I have no idea. I think Okada's he's not on this card, and I think that would be a real shame if they didn't include the Rainmaker on this show.
It is interesting he's not on the show. I don't get that.
Yeah.
Um, if there is a good reason for Okada not being on the show, I'm gonna throw out a name I haven't thought about in a long time
Okay.
and I had been wondering what happened to him.
Okay.
Keith Lee, just because I'm curious as to what happened to him.
Could also get the return of Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks, who has been posting ominously on the socials recently,
Mm.
so that is a possibility. Um, that being said, and I don't even know if Evil Uno is going to make it into the match after the beating he took.
No, he said he was going to be on it. That's it. He's on. He looked like such a goof in that whole segment.
Poor Evil Uno,
Right.
which you don't hear very often. But poor Evil Uno. All right. The Devil's Advocate has the Hangman Adam Page as a winner, and he had some comments too.
Of course he did.
Uh, you only need to hang mean bastards, but mean bastards you need to hang. Points to the man who knows this movie. Only need to hang mean bastards, but mean bastards you need to hang.
I'm glad you got the confused look. My guess is I've seen the movie and I still don't know what he's talking about.
I'm guessing I've seen it too, and I'm
But that was
guessing.
but that was like recently in a text message he quoted Deadpool versus Wolverine literally hours before I saw it. And then as the movie was going on,
Yeah, yeah. Well, this
ah,
this is a older one. I'm gonna guess it's either Once Upon a Time in the West or
I got the answer.
Is it a Western?
It's a Western, but it's not that one.
Is it an old Western?
No, but it's not. It's not
Is it
Quentin
a
Tarantino.
Kevin Costner Western?
No,
Oh boy.
no, but around that time frame.
So 90s, late 90s, early aughts era.
I think early '90s.
Early 90s. Tombstone?
Close, but no. The other one that was popular around that time. I'm sorry, it was '92. This one. Think about it. There's Tombstone, and then there was another one that came out of.
Was it Unforgiven? Or that was late 90s?
No,
No, it was
Unforgiven.
Unforgiven.
92.
92. Wow.
I've seen it. I saw it once, so I don't remember.
It's a great movie.
Yeah,
It is a great movie.
it is.
All right. Well, that's him signaling he's going with Hangman Adam Page. Who do you have for it?
I hate that he picked Hangman because that's who I was picking.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be able to get some bonus points, but not happening. It could be Okada, I suppose.
It could be anyone.
It could be Orange Cassidy. They mentioned Orange Cassidy's coming in first.
Oh, really? I mean, it would be interesting to see what they do with Adam Page if he can't get to it via this match. Like, if he can't get to Swerve Strickland via this match.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Because I'd like to see him get even more unhinged. But I think it's Hangman Adam Page.
All right, here's the other thing. You might have been right because I'm seeing one site giving credit to it in Unforgiven, the other one saying Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight. Never saw that. That was the Tarantino one, right?
You never saw that one?
No.
The entire movie takes place in one room.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's actually, I really enjoyed that one too, but I don't remember that quote.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, this is saying, yeah, this another site. Yeah, one site said Unforgiven, the other saying Hateful Eight. I'm going to go with Hateful Eight just because Rob quoted it. Not that he wouldn't quote Unforgiven, but I think he's more likely to quote. Wow. Folks, folks, this is just like our Family Feud episode. We thought we were going to knock this thing out in about 25, 30 minutes. No.
It's another lightning round from us. That's all right. There's only 15 more matches to pick. So I think we're making good time.
You picked Hangman as well?
Yeah.
Can we say Hangman Adam Page for our picks and say that he once again technically didn't come up with the right name? Haha. I've never heard of the guy referred to as the Hangman.
The Hangman? I feel like there was somebody called the Hangman.
Yeah, but it wasn't on Page.
No, definitely wasn't. And it's like 80s.
Yeah. Yeep. Sorry, wrong show. Yeet is another show.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. Next up, maybe my favorite feud on the card. Because it's been my favorite story, and I just can't believe they've been able to keep my interest in it for this long. Timeless Toni Storm will defend her AEW Women's World Championship with Luther at her side against the Glamour, Mariah May, winner of the, was it Owen Hart Memorial Tournament? Which is how she got this title. Yes. Yeah. Devil's Advocate has Mariah May. I think that is a fair thing. A fair choice. It does seem to me like they're going for that direction. Like, why would you build her up like this? Not to have her win. I could even see Luther turning on Toni Storm, honestly, in this match.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I think I'm inclined to go with Mariah May as well. How about you?
I really like Mariah May. We were there for her AEW debut in
Yes.
Newark.
In the match that we were all like, hey, these two can wrestle. Why don't they show that more?
Yeah, because it went to commercial break. I gotta be honest. The second after she did her turn, I don't feel like she's been very interesting. I almost feel like she's become a letdown. I don't feel like the crowd's reacting to her the way that I thought they would.
Do you think it's because there's been so much time since her turn, between her actual turn and this match?
I think they could have still built it up nicely. I mean, what are we talking, 3 or 4 weeks? They didn't necessarily have to show them every week. No, I feel like there was no way to top that beating. I mean, that was very graphic.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was. I remember watching, thinking, "Oh my god, this is a little much," with the blood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But now it's basically been, random run-ins and beatdowns ever since. So I was like, I feel like if they had ended the turn there, because she was already getting the title shot.
Right.
If you did the turn like this past week in Wales, so not England where she's from, but the United Kingdom, and that led into the match. Well, now Tony Storm's really got to come over the adversity of my friend just turned on me, but instead they had all this time after the fact. So I feel like the momentum kind of, they lost it.
I do
I
agree with that to a point.
Yeah, I also don't think every British individual on this card is going to come out a winner, and I think this is the one where it's not going to be the case. I think Tony Storm's retaining.
Okay. Strong vote.
If you asked me the set right after the whole hitting Tony Storm with the shoe, I would have felt differently, but I just felt like after that, I was like, you can't. Not every Brit is going to win.
That's fair. That is very fair.
I also think it's interesting that Saraya wasn't given some sort of match on here. Instead, they threw her in Wales for a title
That was
shot.
interesting.
Yeah.
Question. Was there
Yeah.
ever a match with Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa? And I'll explain why I'm asking. Along in between the turn and now.
Not since the turn. Maybe before it.
I would have liked to have seen some kind of beatdown. I think that would have done what you're asking about, which was keep Mariah May a little more interesting and keep her more in that spotlight of being a threat if she had
Mhm.
beat down Shirakawa too.
Yeah.
Because they did a promo with her, I think a week or so ago, where she's like, I don't understand what's happening. I just don't want them to get hurt. I would
Yeah,
love for that to have happened.
I think that's the only part she's played in this whole thing. So yeah, ever since the turn, Mina hasn't been on. Period.
Yeah. And
Apparently,
I
she's
mean,
been
I know
hanging
she's
out with
been,
Kairi Sane.
yeah, which, hey, more power to that photographer. Oh,
Mm, I
happy
don't know.
fella.
I think Mina's better looking. Kyrie, I'm like,
Kairi Sane is
Ky-
adorable.
But in that photo, Kyrie Sane's playing the ugly friend.
You can have two pretty friends.
Oh, you can't.
Not everybody has to be a Marty Jannetty.
You saying Marty Jannetty's the ugly guy? Jeez, that's
He's
mean.
the ugly friend out of that tag team. Yes, clearly he was the ugly friend out of that tag team.
That's so mean. I don't give a shit. Oh, damn it.
You whispered. It's cool. We'll fix it in post. All
I
right,
don't have to. I
let's.
don't have time to fix it in post. Sorry.
All right, moving up. Probably this match will be a lot earlier on. I don't know. The FTW Championship match. If Hook loses, he can never challenge for this championship again for as long as Jericho is the champion.
Oh, give
And
me a
it is
break.
Chris, the Learning Tree Jericho, defending, and he'll have Big Bill and Brian Keith in his corner, and he'll be defending against Hook. Um, Devil's Advocate as Hook makes sense.
Yeah.
I also imagine a returning Samoa Joe, and
Ooh, that would make sense.
And who's their third guy?
The Rustler.
Yes.
And I got his theme song stuck in his head, Dun, dun,
Yes.
dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Jesus, I don't remember the guy's name now. Well, let's see. I'm sure Wikipedia won't fail me. Does Hook not even have his own? Oh, there it is, Hook. Real name, Tyler Cole Synertia. I'm probably saying that wrong. Let's see. Oh, Katsuyori Shibata.
Shibata, that's right. Yeah, I could see them making a return to
Holy
even
crap,
the odds.
he's my age.
Oh
He's
yeah.
40, he's 44. What I thought he was. God, I figured he was in his like mid to early 30s.
Yeah. Yeah. Business looks like it's treated him well, actually. Now that you say that.
Right?
Huh.
Damn, kid.
I'm kind of surprised there.
So am I.
All right, who do you got?
Oh, Hook.
Yeah, Hook. It's gotta be Hook. I hope that doesn't end the learning tree gimmick though, because I do get a kick out of learning tree gimmick, and I hope maybe that sends them off into the trios world or something after, because I get a kick out of that. I get a kick out of Big Bill trying to be the smart kid in the class, and I get a kick out of Brian Keith just repeating the last word every time. Yeah, I like that gimmick. I can't lie. All right, moving on. The AEW TBS Championship. Again, just gonna mention, maybe this is something you defend on TBS. But hey, who am I to judge? It is the champion, Mercedes Moné, defending against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Well, that's a simple comment from the Devil's Advocate.
Unbelievable. Be a professional, bro.
I mean, who, me? I'm sorry, I shouldn't
No,
crack up.
him.
Oh,
Why would I
thank
say
you.
that about you? You didn't say anything.
I mean, yeah, I haven't exactly been a fan of this run either. Except, again, I will say this: the only Mercedes Moné match I have enjoyed since this return and in this run was her match with Hikaru Shida last week. The only one I enjoyed, and that's again because you can't have. It's hard to have a bad match with Hikaru Shida. It is
I
hard.
could see it
A
happening.
bad match.
Yeah, I could see it happening, but
I
and
feel
I
like
like.
she can lift a bad match to a reasonable match.
Yeah, no, that I'll agree with, but yeah, I don't think when I think of Hikaru Shida, I don't necessarily think, oh, this girl can do no wrong. Well,
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. But I have enjoyed her matches in general. So Rob has Mercedes Yuck, and that's a capital Yuck for those scoring at home.
idiot. He only put it there to get me going.
I can see the disapproving look on your face.
No, look, you don't like her, that's fine. I don't, to each his own. I just the yuck part. I'm like,
I get
oh,
it. I get
like,
it. I
oh,
hear
you're
you.
so original. Yuck. Do better, Rob. I know you can. You could do the better.
Actually, yeah, he could have gone. He could have gone Mercedes. No way. He could have gone.
There you go. Or no money.
No money.
The
Yeah.
yuck. It's just like, come on, bro. You
Mercedes. Yuck. I'll
like
assume that
what are
one
we in grammar
was.
school here? Come on. Do better. Do better. I know you can. You have it in you.
Yes. Yes. Hear that? He believes in you. He believes in you. All right. Who do you have?
I believe in Joe Hendry. No, I'm sorry, the wrong show.
Don't say his name. Actually, say his name. It would be great if he showed up
Right?
on this show.
Number one contender for the NXT title. I'm excited.
That's right. That's right. Looking forward to that one. All right.
Yeah.
Who are we picking here?
I I think Mercedes Monet or
Yeah.
Monet. I don't think I could see Britt beating her.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't do it quite yet.
And
I
also,
think I
she's
think you could
got a
get a real
heavy.
feud out of this.
Yeah, I would like to see this, and I'd like to see Mercedes kind of regain her.
Excuse me.
How do I put this? I'd like to see her regain the swagger she had as Sasha Banks. And it, like, I want her to own that character on the mic. I want her to own it like in her style. I don't feel that. I don't feel the CEO thing from her, but I want her to get to a point where I start to feel it. I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping
It
she can pull this off.
could be more interesting if she's really the CEO, that she's not answering to or cutting deals with the EVPs. The EVP should be answering to her.
That would make sense, right? Like she just tells them what to do.
Yeah, and I mean, I do like her, but yeah, I don't think she's worth the money they're paying her. I agree with Rob in that respect. I think a lot of people would say that she's definitely
Yeah.
getting overpaid. Look, I would say that about a lot of this roster. I think a lot of them are there for a paycheck. It's a business. I get it.
Mhm.
I don't fault them for it. I
Yeah.
don't think
Get your
she's.
money.
I don't think she. I mean, she signed the contract and basically said, "I know I'll be back in WWE one day." Like, really?
Mm.
I mean, she was honest. I'll give her that. But I don't think she was worth the money that they probably paid her. I don't think she. I think she's worth money, and no pun intended there. I just don't think it's
Yeah.
probably what she got paid. But sorry, I'm going in circles there.
What you're saying is maybe a bit overpriced, if you will, for what the return has been. I think if she had been able to wrestle from day one, it would have been different, a different
Right.
story.
Well,
I wasn't a fan of her being shown as this new talent acquisition, and then not really making any promos, and then not really being in the ring, and not having any physical interactions with backstage or anything. That's what made it feel like a waste to me.
I think you could have had her doing backstage and doing interviews. I think where they screwed up was like well in advance, before Willow even had the TBS championship. She said, "Oh, I'm challenging for it at Double or Nothing,"
Hmm.
and it was like, okay, that far in advance. The other thing I thought is, you're supposed to be this big superstar. You're supposed to be like the number one woman free agent out there, and you got signed by AEW, and you went right into a mid card feud. And she could have beat Willow. I had no problem with her facing Willow in her first match. I don't think it needed to be for the TBS championship.
Hmm.
But whatever. Anyway,
Yeah,
enough said
I
on that.
feel you. I feel you. All right, we're here at the main event. Well, unless Osprey and MJF go on last,
Yeah.
but it's a title. It's a meaningful match. It's a title versus career match for the AEW World Championship. It is the champion, accompanied by Prince Nana, Swerve Strickland, facing the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. If Danielson loses this match, his career is over. He had a good quick promo there last I guess this was on Wednesday.
Hmm.
Um where he said, and I quote, I am the best, and I paraphrase, I am the best effing wrestler in the world, after kneeing Swerve Strickland out of the ring. Uh, and he still has that, that when he gives those real passionate promos.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun, when he ups that intensity.
Yeah.
Is this the match that crowns Swerve Strickland as the best of the AEW champions?
No. No.
He's had some really good ones.
I don't care. You know what? You want to be the best? You want to be considered the best AEW champion of all time? Put some butts in the seat. Because that's what people
Wow.
are going to remember. The attendance has been down since MJF lost that belt to Samoa Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying MJF should be attributed to it being, a great ticket selling, sold out arenas left and right thing, because the numbers were already starting to go down.
Mm-hmm.
But as great as Swerve Strickland might be, is he drawing? I don't think he is. I think he's drawing a certain niche audience. AEW's been drawing a niche audience for a while, but the numbers don't lie. The numbers have been going down,
Mm-hmm.
which I think sucks for him. I even when he was in NXT as Isaiah Swerve Scott, I didn't get the guy, but I will say I could see why more now people are behind this guy and think he's one of the best out there. I don't think necessarily in ring he's one of the best out there. I think his character, his promos, I think he's very interesting in that respect. Um, anyway, so Rob said I swerve when I make picks. Um, haha.
Come
I
on.
think
You can do
yeah,
better than that.
he wasn't feeling well. We'll
That's
cut him.
fair. Okay.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but we'll cut him slack. I think Danielson goes out putting over Swerve. That's what he was thinking. So I could see that. I think the part that I'm not sure that that's going to be the case, because for those of you that don't know, Brian Danielson's career is on the line, and no, we've said that. Russell Dream is in Tacoma, Washington, if I remember correctly. Pretty sure it's in Tacoma, Washington.
Ooh.
It's down the street from where he's from in Aberdeen. I don't think this is it for him. It could be. It would be a nice send off
Oh.
for him in
When
front of
is Wrestle
50,000
Dream?
people. Russell Dreams next month. That's why I don't think I could. You know what I would like them to see? They kind of did it with Punk in 2011. They hinted they were going to do it with Foley in 2000. They didn't. It'd be really interesting to see somebody win a world title in their last match, and then that title gets vacated, and you're starting all over again. I just think it would be interesting.
Hmm.
Not necessary, but I think it would be interesting. I mean, we know if Daniel Bryan or Brian Danielson wins, it hasn't been said this is it. This is his last match either way. It's just said if he loses, it is.
Right.
So I my guess I'm gonna go with Brian Danielson. Rob could be right. The tea leaves are there. If you read the tea leaves, you you could sway it really either way. I just think simply because it would be a moment more so in front of his home state fans. I could see him getting the belt here and holding it until Wrestle Dream and then dropping it. Or maybe he
Hmm.
retires with it and they start from scratch. Who knows? But either way, just because Russell Dream's there, I feel like it's probably gonna happen.
So that means the next match would be Darby Allin versus Brian Danielson between now and Wrestle
Yeah.
Dream, most likely.
Yeah, and then I'm reading rumors that they want to put the belt on Darby Allin. I just don't see it.
Now I don't think he ever needs
I,
that belt either.
no, I don't think he necessarily. No, I'll agree with you in that respect. I could see him being a champion at some point. I feel like since Sting retired, he's kind of been lost in the shuffle.
I mean, he did get hit by a bus.
Yeah,
It's as lost in the shuffle as you can get.
yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like you want to build it up and with some big massive match, and I just don't see Grand Slam being that big massive match. I mean, there's still plenty of time. I could be wrong, but
Mm.
um, I stand corrected. By the way, Wrestle Dream it's all out. Then Wrestle Dream. Wrestle Dream is on October 12th, but it is in Tacoma, Washington.
Hmm. I mean, that does throw an interesting wrench into things.
Yeah. I gave you something to think about. That
It is something to think about. Then the question becomes, can Bryan Danielson wrestle again? Or is he throwing it all into this one match because he knows his body can't do it much longer?
I think, yeah, I mean, the Darby Allin title match at Grand Slam factor, the winner of the Casino Gauntlet getting a title shot is another factor. And if it is Hangman, it makes more sense for Hangman to face Swerve for that belt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. Is the Casino Gauntlet winner? When do they get that title shot? Because we know Darby's getting his at Grand Slam. So you would think, in theory, Darby's next.
Right.
However, there's still another pay-per-view in between now and Grand Slam.
Right. Yeah, this is a tough one.
Yeah.
I think a few months
Tougher
back
than a
I
$2
said,
steak.
that's right. I think a few months back though I said I'm all aboard the Swerve Strickland bandwagon, and I don't think I'm going to jump off just yet, even though you give a good valid reason. I'm going to stick with him.
Okay.
Sticking with Swerve.
Okay. I don't fault you for that. Like I said, you and Rob likely are right, and I'm reading into it too much.
But those are interesting factors. They are very interesting factors to consider.
I try.
We'll see. I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm thinking of how they treated Sting's last match, and I thought they did a pretty good job with that,
Mm-hmm.
and treated him, did him justice on the way out. I am seeing this as this man is dying on his shield,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how they'll carry him out. That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. We should probably wrap this up because you're going to have to carry me out soon.
Man, we're gonna have to bring a third person in there.
This is going to get posted
done.
after the pay-per-view at the rate we're going.
Oh,
For those of you that are wondering why I keep going off screen, I'm working on the graphic at the same time. So
oh, that's brilliant. Yes. All right. Well, here it is, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of the show. Thank you for sticking with our 15-minute quick pick lightning round episode of
15
GBE.
right.
Oh,
Minutes.
guys,
That's
again, check us out on YouTube under Sports Frenzy Podcast under that network, and check us out on Instagram at Sports Frenzy Podcast. Um, we also have a Facebook. I always forget we have a Facebook, but we do have a Facebook.
Mhm.
And we are also on Twitter at Sports Frenzy Pod. So,
Not that Freddie ever remembers to tweet out for either show for it.
fair enough.
But yeah,
We've all but given up on
it's
Twitter by
very
now.
important to subscribe to the YouTube because, except for the Instagram post, when I remember to do it, that's probably the only way you're finding out.
There you go. So check us out on YouTube, folks, and leave your comments, and we'll see you again in another week. So that's it, everybody. In the words of Freddie El Oso, for lack of a better term, peace.